All right, thank you guys so much for joining in on the informative speech. And today we're going to talk about how chocolate is manufactured. This is for my speech class for my business and communications class that I'm taking. So thank you guys for your time. The general purpose of this speech is to inform everyone how chocolate is made from cocoa beans and the journey those beans take before becoming the chocolate that we eat. Imagine opening a chocolate bar. Most of us enjoy the sweet taste without ever thinking about where it came from or how much work went into making it. Chocolate doesn't start out sweet at all. It begins as bitter seed growing inside colorful pods on tropical trees. Today, I want to explain how chocolate is manufactured by following the journey of the cocoa bean farm from the farm to the finished chocolate bar. By the end of my speech, you will understand where chocolate comes from, how it is processed, and why each step is so important to create the flavor that we all enjoy. According to the World Cocoa Foundation, about 70% of the world's cocoa is grown in West Africa, making that region the heart of global chocolate production. This shows just how important cocoa farming is to the chocolate industry. Chocolate, it always begins with the cocoa tree. It has a scientific name, Theobroma cocoa. This name means the food of the gods. According to the encyclopedia, the cocoa tree grows best in warm, humid climates near the equator. Each cocoa pod contains about 20 to 60 cocoa beans, which are surrounded by a sweet white pulp. One major example is Cote d'Ivoire, the world's largest cocoa producing country. Millions of farmers there depend on cocoa farming for their income. After the pods are harvested by hand, workers split them open and remove the beans and pulp. The second process of the cocoa bean is fermentation and drying out the cocoa bean to create the chocolate flavor. Many people think roasting creates chocolate flavor, but the flavor actually begins during the fermentation process. The beans are placed in large boxes or covered with banana leaves for about 5 to 7 days. During this time, natural microorganisms break down the pulp and begin developing the rich chocolate flavors. According to the World Cocoa Foundation, fermentation is essential for developing the flavor precursors that later become chocolate distinctive taste. After fermentation, the beans are spread out in the sun to dry for several days. And the drying process, what it does is it basically removes the moisture and prevents mold from growing while the beans are transported all around the world. The third process is the manufacturing process. And basically, it is the process where it transforms the bean into actual chocolate. So once the dried beans arrive at a chocolate factory, they are cleaned and roasted. Roasting brings out even more flavor and that aroma that we love. Next, the shells are removed, leaving behind pieces called cocoa nibs. The nibs are ground into thick paste chocolate liquor. Even though it has the word liquor in its name, it contains no alcohol. From there, manufacturers may separate the cocoa butter from the cocoa solids. Different amounts of these ingredients are mixed with sugar, milk, powder, and other ingredients depending on the type of chocolate being produced. For example, dark chocolate contains a higher percentage of cocoa solids. Milk chocolate contains added milk powder and more sugar. White chocolate, it contains cocoa butter but no cocoa solids. One fascinating fact is that according to the National Confectioners Association, Americans consume billions of servings of chocolate every year, making chocolate one of the most popular treats in the country. The final manufacturing steps are refining, conching, tempering, and molding. Chocolate expert Harold McGee, he explains in his book on food and cooking, conching smooths the texture and refines the flavor of chocolate. This process can last anywhere from several hours to several days, depending on the quality of chocolate that is being produced. Finally, the chocolate is tempered so that it develops a shiny appearance, a firm texture, and the satisfying snap that we hear when we break a chocolate bar. It is then poured into molds, cooled, packaged, and shipped to stores around the world. So today we have followed the incredible journey of chocolate from a tropical cocoa tree to the candy owl. We learned that chocolate begins as a cocoa bean inside colorful pods, develops its flavor during the fermentation and then drying, and is transformed through roasting, grinding, conching, and tempering before the chocolate we enjoy. The next time you eat a piece of chocolate, you will know that it represents months of forming, careful processing, and advanced manufacturing. What seems like a simple chocolate bar is actually the result of an amazing journey that starts thousands of miles away on a cocoa farm. Thank you all so much for being here, listening to my informative speech about chocolate. Thank you. Okay.